Amit and Sumit are two friends and they love playing trump cards. And also, they exchange trump cards regularly. Now, there is a small problem. Whenever they exchange trump cards, sometimes one has more cards and one has less cards. And this leads to regular quarrels. So they go to Ravi Bhaiya and they say that this is the problem which they are facing. Now Ravi Bhaiya gives a solution. Well, the solution is very simple and you must have already thought about it. Why don't they count the cards? If they count the cards, then there will be no confusion. 10 cards taken, 10 cards given. So simple. So counting is very important. Even simple tasks like exchanging trump cards requires counting. And counting is not a modern issue. This has been an issue right from the ancient times. Now, in the ancient times, people did not perform scientific calculations like us, but they hunted animals. Now, when these people hunted animals and they were done with animals in one area, they went forward to a new area. Now, they constantly discovered new areas where there were more animals. For example, this particular person has discovered this area which has so many animals. Now, he wants to communicate the same to one of his tribesmen. Now, what does he communicate? There are many animals. So his friend wanted to know how many animals and he had no definite answer except for that he saw many animals. Now, this particular problem was a big problem for them. So they developed a number of methods which started with counting using fingers. Well, it was an effective method, but the problem was that we have only 10 fingers. What about larger numbers? So they also devised newer methods like marking on rock. Now even these markings became pretty complex once the number of animals increased. So they developed some newer techniques like counting using stones, but again this was also confusing as the numbers became bigger and bigger. So counting was always a problem for them. Now not only in this time, this became more complex once they started trading. During trade, they needed to exchange animals and different fruits and vegetables, and without counting, if they did that, they would have problem because somebody would have more profit and somebody would be in loss. So counting and numbers became very important for them. So what did they do about it? Well, they developed number system. That is, they developed a number of symbols representing specific counting numbers. For example, for 10 they had one symbol, for 100 they had another symbol. So if they wanted to write 100, they did not mark 100 marks on a piece of rock, or they did not use fingers. They simply wrote one symbol. And similar symbols were developed by different civilizations that made their mathematical work very simple. Now these symbols were different for different civilizations, and among them was the Roman Empire. Now Roman Empire was a very big civilization and they had so many people and they traded so many different things. So they definitely required a number system so that they can easily calculate. Now what number system do we use? Well, we use the Arabic number system. Now in Arabic number system we have total of 10 different digits, and the combination of these digits helps us write any particular count or number. Similarly, the Romans had their set of symbols. The first 3 symbols in that set were I, V and X. Now Romans combined their symbols to make different numbers, and I, V and X symbols were combined in different ways to write numbers till 39. So let's see how they use these numbers to represent different counts. First of all, let's come to 0. Now they had no symbol for 0 because they never felt the need of representing 0, because 0 means nothing and 0 was not invented at their time. So they had no symbol for 0. What about 1? Well, they wrote 1i and that was 1. What about 2? They wrote 2 i's and this is how they represented 2. What about 3? 3 i's. What about 4? Well, according to the natural order, you may say that 4, we can write it as 4 i's. But this is not correct. Can you see? It is becoming confusing again. If you keep on writing more i's, you will not be able to identify easily which number is being represented, or even if you identify, it will take a lot of time. And even the Romans realized that this is a problem. So they decided that they will never use 4 consecutive symbols at once. So while writing a Roman number, never use any symbol more than 3 times consecutively. So if you represent 4 in terms of i's, then you will write I 4 times, which means you are writing I continuously more than 3 times, which is not allowed in Roman numbers because it becomes confusing. So what was the solution? Well, the solution was that they came up with a new symbol for 5, that is V. So V is equal to 5. Now the question arises that we were trying to represent 4. Then how does having a symbol of 5 help? Well, they developed a new rule with this symbol. And what is the rule? The rule says that when smaller numerals are on the left hand side of the bigger ones, subtract them. So this is 5. So when you write V, it represents 5, and when you write I, it represents 1. Now when you write V and I together in this way, where I is on the left of V, then what is happening? V is 5 and I is 1, and when you place I to the left, you are subtracting 1. So it is 5 minus 1, that is 4. So how do you write 4 in terms of 5, that is in terms of V? Well, we write V and then we write an I to its left, which means we are talking about 1 less than 5, which is 4. So this is how 4 is represented in Roman numerals. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have 4, which is 1 less than 5. So we have I to the left of V, and then we have V, that is 5. So what will be the next one? Well, so how do we write 6 in this case? Well, we know that V represents 5. Now we have 1 more than 5. So we write an I to the right of it. Now what does this mean? Well, if you have a smaller number to the right of a larger number, we add. As we had a smaller number to the left of the larger number, we subtracted. So this is the basic rule of Roman numerals. So when you have a smaller number to the left of the larger number, you subtract, so it becomes 4. And when you have a smaller number to the right of the larger number, then we add. So we have 5 plus 1, 6. Similarly for 7, we have 5, 6, 7. And then for 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what will be the natural order in this case? Well, you may say that for 9, you can write 9 as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But there is a problem. We know that we can never use one symbol consecutively more than 3 times. But here we are using it the 4th time, which is not allowed in case of Roman numerals. So what is the solution? Well, we have a new symbol, that is X, which represents 10. So this is 10. But how does it solve our problem of 9? Well, just similar to 4, for 9 we write 1 less than 10. So 1 less than 10, to the left of 10 when we write I, then it is 1 less than 10. So what will be 9? 9 will be I to the left of X. So we got all the 10 numbers. So this is how we write 4 and 9. And we have these symbols which are used to write these two numbers. So you see, in the case of Roman numerals, for the first 10 numbers, we use only I till 3. After that, V is introduced. So we use a combination of V and I, and then we have V, and then combination of V and I continues, and then again we have a new symbol which is X. Similarly, new symbols are introduced as and when required. In this case, the combination of these 3 symbols can be used till 39. So what are the rules which we saw here? Well, first of all, we know that first 3 symbols in Roman numerals are I, V and X. I represents 1, V represents 5 and X represents 10. Also, when smaller numerals are on the right hand side of bigger ones, add them. As you can see, in this case, I plus I plus I, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. V, I, that is again we have to the right. So 5 plus 1 plus 1, that is 7. And then 10 and 1, 10 plus 1, that is 11. So when you have smaller numerals to the right of larger numerals, you add them. Now, when smaller numerals are on the left hand side of the bigger ones, subtract them. So in this case, I is smaller than V, so it's subtracted. 5 minus 1, that is 4. Similarly, I and X, so 10 minus 1, that is 9. Also, it's very important that while writing a Roman number, never use any symbol more than 3 times consecutively, that is one after another. So you see, all these style of writing are not allowed in Roman numbers. So you cannot have 4 I's together in any of these cases, or even 4 V's together or 4 X's together. None of these symbols can be represented more than 3 times consecutively. So how can we represent this? Well, we have 2 and 5. So can we simply take this and this, and can we represent this number? Not really. You don't need to think about single digits, but about the number as a whole. So we have 25 here. So if you break up 25 in terms of available numbers, what can you do? Well, the largest number you can use is 10. So you have 10 plus 10, which is 20. And then you have plus 5, which is 25. Now, in terms of Roman numerals, how can you write this? Well, 10 is nothing but X. This 10 is again X. And 5 is V. Now, what do we see? They are being added. And when we do addition in Roman numerals, we place the symbols to the right. So, X, to the right another X, and to the right V. So 25 will be X, X, V. So you see, to the right, you keep on adding and you get 25. So 25 can be written as X, X, V. Now let's see another number. So now we have 34. Now how do we write 34 in terms of Roman numerals? We know that we cannot represent it simply as 3 and 4. It's 34. Again, we'll start with the largest number which can be used to represent this. So we have 10 as the largest number. So we use 10. Then we need 30, right? We just have 10. So we can add another 10. That becomes 20. We can add another 10. Now it becomes 30. So after 30 we have 4. So we add 4 simply. So we have 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4. Now how do we represent this in terms of Roman numerals? Well, it will be X, X again, X again, and then for 4 we have this. So I and V. Now they are being added consecutively. So how do we do it? Well, it is X, another X, another X, and then IV, that is 4. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4, that is 34. So did you see how we represented this number? We started with the largest possible symbol, and then gradually we went to the smallest one. So it is 34 represented in Roman numeral form. And similarly, all the numbers till 39 are represented using the symbols I, V and X. So we started with I, and then we have IV, then V that represents 5, and then a combination of these numbers are used till 39. Now why till 39 and not 40? Because what do we see here? 10 plus 10 plus 10, that is 30, and then we have a 9, 39. After that, for 40, if we use the same symbols, we'll have to use 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, that is 4x together, which is not allowed in Roman numerals. You can never have 4 symbols consecutively in Roman numerals, and that is why 40 cannot be represented by X in terms of X or in terms of X in V, and as a result we have newer symbols after 39. So I, V and X are not the only symbols in Roman numerals. We have L, which represents 50, we have C, which represents 100, we have D, which represents 500, and we have M, which represents 1000. And similarly, we have more symbols for larger numbers, and all these symbols are used according to how large the number is. And these are some common examples of Roman numerals which we use even today. So you can see in watches and clocks, Roman numerals are used many times. As in this case, it's WrestleMania X, X, I and V, which means 10, 10, I and V is 4. So it's 24. So it's WrestleMania 24. And when we see this particular name here, iPhone X, what does it represent? Well, it represents the 10th model of iPhone. So it's basically iPhone 10 in terms of Roman numerals. And of course, we have all these classrooms which are usually written in Roman numerals. So we have class 5, class 6, 7 and so on. So all these are common examples of Roman numerals. So Roman numerals were also a number system used by Romans, and in that the first 3 symbols were I, V and X, which were used to represent numbers till 39. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge, or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English, and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged, and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You also get amazing prizes like PlayStations, iPads, watches, and many more, along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at DeltaStep.com, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.